Welcome to the Cavalier Corner, a show in which we'll be discussing all kinds of fun topics related to student life. My name is Giuliana.
And I'm Camille, and today with us we have a very special guest. But wait, before we introduce our guest, we're going to start this off by asking our icebreaker. So before we know who this person is, we're just going to ask her two icebreaker questions, and let's see how, if you can formulate who this person is or not, give you a taste of her. All right, so I have my first question for you is, if you could write a book, what would the book be about?
Right. So yeah, this was a hard one because I'm interested in lots of things. I like to learn new things all the time. But what I decided was, so something about me that not everyone might know is that I have identical twin girls. They are 11 years old. And I would probably write a book about twins and being a parent to twins and what that's like and how to survive. So
I am jealous. Jealous. It is so cool. That is super cool.
So that's what I used to, when I took some time off work after I had them, because, twins. And so I did a blog for a while when I was at home with them, just writing about how things were going and how to save money with two kids at once, because you have no hand-me-downs or anything. So yeah, that's what I would probably write about.
That is pretty. See, I've always wanted twins. That's my one wish in life, is to have identical twins, because I grew up watching Sister Sister with Tia and Tamara.
Yes.
And I just thought that was amazing. So I wanted twins all my life. So I'm pretty much interested in that. That is
okay.
Cool.
Well, we can always talk later about it if you want. And everything. I wanted to be a twin when I was a kid. That would be so nice, but instead I have twins.
All right, my next question is, if you were stranded on an island, what three things would you bring with you?
Yeah, and this was our dinner conversation last night at home. So yeah, my kids came up with answers. I came up with answers. My husband did too. So one thing I would bring is my husband, if I could bring a person with me, because he's amazing. And we work really well together. He's great at building things and solving problems. And then I bring in all my weird background knowledge I have on lots of different topics. So if I could bring him, he wanted me to bring a satellite phone. Like, I don't know if that's the point. I think we're stuck there forever. I don't think he said, no, the point is to get off the island. So he wants a satellite phone. I wanted a way to purify water.
Okay.
In a reusable way to purify water. So I would have something to drink. I was most concerned about being able to have water to drink. Yeah. And then I wanted some sort of book or some sort of resource that would help me identify the plants and animals on the island, so I would know what was edible and what wasn't. So during all this time at home and everything, I have this app on my phone called iNaturalist, and it lets me identify plants and animals when I go on my walks. And I've learned so much about the world around me. So I'd want something like that.
That is so cool.
So, because I love to learn new things all the time. That's part of who I am.
Okay, see? And then let's take 2 seconds, guys. Could you guess her profession on campus? I mean, this is not a hard one. Well, it could be a podcast, so they would be listening. And
that's true. Yeah, if you're watching this, you'll see my background. If you're watching,
this is an easy question.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That was very much entertaining. I will write that app down because I go for walks too, and I like looking at nature and learning.
I love it. They have a kids version too called Seek. And you can earn badges and all that if you want to play it as a game. But iNaturalist is a lot of fun, and learning what things to pull out of my yard, I guess, because they're poisonous. It's like, oh, okay. I live on 2 acres, so I need to be a little bit more aware of what's in my yard.
I agree. All right, well, thank you very much for that, for playing into our games. Well,
Sure.
now you can go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners.
Sure. So my name is Jessica Tipton, and I'm the online learning and instruction librarian and our associate professor here at Johnson County Community College.
Nice. See, guys, if you guessed that she was a librarian from walking around with an app to tell you what plants are.
This is what I do. So things I love about my job. I love helping students. I miss that so much right now. Getting to connect with students. So anytime I have an online student appointment or get to visit with you, this is great. I love helping students. The other part I love about my job is I get to learn something new every day. People ask me all sorts of questions about anything in the world. I'm ready to answer anything. If I don't know the answer, I can figure out where to find it. And I get to learn something new every day because someone asked me a question.
That's pretty cool. Juliana?
Awesome. So to start off our round of questioning here, our interviewing you. So I like to call it interview because we have so many questions. But we like to know where the library is located and what are the resources that you have available right now, like in person?
Sure. So library is located in the library building. This is always kind of an interesting thing. The library services are provided on the first and second floor of the Billington Library building. If you haven't been to campus recently, the library building looks a lot different than probably when you were in it last. So the first floor of the library building has all of the academic resource centers now. So Math Resource Center, Writing Center, Science Resource Center, Language Resource Center, and Academic Achievement Center. Those are all on the first floor of the library building now. We also have a cafe on the first floor of the library building called Stacks. It's not open this spring. Hopefully it will be open back up soon, but we have a cafe there now. We also have a reference librarian that sits on the first floor of the library building. There's a research help desk, and they're there Monday through Friday from 10 to 2. Second floor of the library is where our physical collections are. So all the books, all the DVDs, all of that are on the second floor, the checkout desk. There's a computer lab up there, lots of study spaces, everything. And then the third floor of the library building, when we're all on campus, that's where my office is. I'm up on the third floor of the library building. The other librarians are up there, more classrooms and offices and things up there.
Pretty nice. Okay, so what is the library schedule? I know that things are a whole lot, skeptical right now with being in person, online. So how is the library working right now?
Right, and that's a great question. So libraries and services and collections are offered in person, but also online. So you don't have to be in the building to get library help. You don't have to be in the building to use our collections or anything like that. But you're also welcome, if you feel comfortable, you're welcome to come see us. There's a mix of people working on campus and from home. I'm working from home this year, but there are librarians that are working in person. So when all the resource centers moved to the first floor, what we did is we changed our hours a little bit. So we all have the same hours, which makes things less confusing if every resource center in the library have the same hours. So the building is open 7:30 a.m. Till 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. We're there 7:30 to 5 on Fridays, and then 1 to 5 on Saturdays and Sundays. Online help is available almost 80 hours per week. And students can, today's Thursday, so we're online till 10 o'clock tonight, offering help. So there is a lot of live online help offered through the library website. You can chat with us online, call us, email us, get us on Twitter or Facebook. You can also schedule one-on-one appointments with us, and I've been doing a lot of those this year. One-on-one Zoom appointments, and spend like a half hour talking to a student about their research paper or project, or whatever else they're working on. So there are lots of opportunities to get help, definitely.
Nice.
Right, so follow up for the online resources. What's the easiest way to access the library page?
So the library website is just library.jccc.edu. And I noticed with some of your other podcasts, you put the links to resources in the description. So please put that in there. That is the best way to reach us for information and everything. So if you're searching through the library, and I know this is one of the questions you guys had with searching through the library, what's the easiest way to search for, articles and books and all of that? On the library website, there's something called Summon, which kind of works like Google for the library. It searches through everything we own through one search box, which makes it really easy. It searches through about 500 million things, which is crazy that we have that much access, but it's great. Anything that we don't have, if you have an article or a book that you really want and you notice we don't have it, let us know and we'll get it for you. We're always adding things to our collection, or we can borrow it from another library through interlibrary loan and get it for you for free.
Nice.
Yeah. Summon also does citations for you. I always point this out. You don't have to do
wait. Oh, wait, you mean like it has its own citation already? Because I remember, which was what I was gonna say. I think it was my second my comp 2 class. I had I think her name is Dr. Broomfield or something like that.
Yeah.
And she went through a whole session teaching us how to use the library, the Billington Library. Like, she went through where we should get our sources from. So she did a whole lecture on how you get these sources. And then she said, I want only sources from this, like from the Billington Library. So wherever whatever you're writing, it has to come from here, just to teach the students how to use it. And I think that was the best thing that she's ever done. Or I would like for other professors to do the same thing, teach the students how to use the Billington Library and access all the information that's there, because there's lots of information there, and it's a big server.
There is so much information there. And that's something, as an online learning librarian, that's something I'm really trying to do more this year. So we have library resources that are embedded into Canvas this year, much more than ever. I'm hosting discussion boards in classes. Other librarians are doing that too. We have lots of tutorial videos showing students how to use our resources, how to have your citations done for you so you don't have to do MLA from scratch.
But because I remember when I'm going through an article, it will give you it down below. It says, well, here's all, this is what you need, just copy and paste. And I was like, wow.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm all about saving you time and making your life easier. That's what the library is here for, is how can we make your life easier? How can we connect you to the resources? How can we do your citations for you? So those sorts of things.
I remember, like, as a student, for my first 2 years at JCCC, and I will say this out loud, for 2 years, I've never purchased a textbook. One, because I was a broke student, so I really couldn't afford purchasing the textbook. And the one thing that I used to do was I used to visit the library, and I used to borrow the books that I needed, and I had a 3-hour limit. And then I would I scanned myself in, request my book, got my book, and then I would just sit down and start my assignment, or I used to just take pictures of it so I could go home and complete it as well. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then now I have to, I didn't reach out to find out the services that, took place instead of that. But I was like, okay, COVID's going through and I need my textbooks. So what I started doing was I purchased it through the bookstore. So for students who just definitely couldn't afford it or can't afford it at this time, because I'm probably won't be able to afford all my books. probably the upcoming semester. How is the library assisting students like myself?
Right, and that is a great question. Textbook costs, I think we all know textbooks can be very expensive and can be a barrier to students succeeding when they can't afford their textbooks. So I think on campus in general and just through the library as well, we're working on ways to help with that. One thing the library does pre-COVID is that we would buy copies of textbooks, have them at our desk, and students could check them out and use them. If they were waiting for their financial aid to come through or weren't able to afford a textbook, and all the things that happen. So we would have copies at the desk on the second floor. Something else just on campus is and some of our librarians are involved with this, just finding ways, how can we make course materials more affordable to students? Are there open educational resources that faculty could use instead? And how can the library support that? So that's an ongoing conversation. How can you use resources too that the library already has? Because we have so many online resources. How can we use those for course readings and things? So there are lots of opportunities for change and improvement there. I think everyone is very aware that cost of textbooks can be an issue for students and a challenge for students. I know the bookstore is working on options as well, but it's definitely an ongoing campus conversation.
Okay, good.
Because we don't want that to be the reason you don't succeed in a class.
I agree. And I loved it. I used to just, come to the library and be like, hi, until the librarians were getting to know me. Because of course, every day after my class, my professor gave me my homework. And I was like, okay, I need page 36 to 42. I need to complete that. And I would walk in and I would have that. So I was like, I truly appreciate those services. Like, those services are what helped me, especially for 2 years when I just didn't have the funds to purchase my textbook.
Right.
It definitely made it so much easier for me and convenient. And then if I had questions, especially if you're just sitting there and you're going through it, if I had questions, there was somebody right there. I was like, I'm not getting this. I'm not understanding. So I think that is perfect.
Definitely. And with all the resource centers and tutoring centers moving to the first floor of the library, say you're in a math class, you get the math textbook, you go to the math resource center and say, hey, can you help me with this? So it's all connected together now, which I think is such a great move. And for students to have all that help in one place.
Yes, I think that was the best decision JUCO made since, I don't know, the beginning. Having everything just at one place, just, it's been convenient, I promise you.
Well, and
you want to print something, you go upstairs, go to the library and print that, and then you go back down, and so convenient.
Yeah, just to have it all in one place. And now we have a cafe, so you can get a snack and a coffee.
So see, you don't even have to leave the library.
You don't even have to leave anymore. So something else they've added to the building is study rooms throughout the building that you can reserve online. And people might not be aware of this, but there's a link on the library website to book a study room. So we have study spaces throughout the building. Since the building's still open, we have socially distanced, study spaces, but you can reserve a study room and have your own private place to study.
I know, with those whiteboards and
yes, whiteboards. We have laptops you can check out and take into the rooms with you. Computers. We have Windows, Macs, and Chromebooks to use. We're one of the few places on campus that has color printing. So
just stick that in there.
I know.
And a lot of students don't know that they have $100 paper cut. Is that paper cut? Is what it's
100 prints.
Yeah.
100. Yeah, 100 prints.
Or it's $10. Well, it's $10.
No, I think it's 100. It's $100, but 10. Is it not?
No, it's not.
No.
10 cents a print. I can't remember.
It's 10 cents a print, $10. They always have the information updated on the campus website, or you have a paper cut account where you can log in and see how many prints you have left and add to it if you need to add to it and all of that, but the librarians can help you with that too.
That is really cool. Like I used to just go to the library and print my assignments out and be like, yes, but a lot of students don't know that they have that available.
Right.
Yeah, and of course we're always gonna link all of this. Everything that we're talking about, we always link it in the description.
But I think more than anything, the library wants to help. And there's so many people on campus that want to help you succeed. There really are. There's so many great services on campus, just throughout all of campus, but the Billington Library with all of its resources, we really want to help you succeed. The challenge with right now is I don't know when you need help. I'm not there on campus. I don't see the students that are lost. So people have to be really proactive and ask for help. When faculty embed me in their courses on campus, I can reach so many more people, or if they require students to meet with me, there's a lot of faculty requiring their students to meet with a librarian.
Especially now that they're like, okay, no, we need to connect you guys with a librarian, so you guys not just think going on Google and Googling this information.
Right. But just requiring those sorts of things. I mean, we love to help students. There are lots of ways to reach us, but we don't know that you need help this year. Same thing with the academic resource centers. They don't know you need help this year. You have to reach out. And I know sometimes that's a little bit scary to ask for help. I get that, definitely. I'm like that too. If I'm in a store and I have to go ask for help in a store, it's like, oh, come on. I should know how to do this. But it's okay if I don't.
That is true.
Yeah. And I have people come to the library and it's like, oh, I spent so many hours on this and you found the answer in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It's like, just come to us and ask. I mean, we'll help you and everything. And I don't want you to get stuck when you're researching. Everyone gets stuck in research at some point. It's part of it. Research is a challenge. I get stuck sometimes. I go to the other librarians and ask for help.
Teamwork is the dream work. I've always said that. Especially some things that you won't see, someone else will see as well.
Right. Well, and think of us as your team.
Exactly. Yeah. So, reaching out to a librarian is very important. I talk to a librarian daily. She's a librarian at a high school, and I would just sit and the knowledge of a librarian is just beyond me. Like, she'll just have certain conversations and, she's read so much and then she knows so much that I was like, whoa, that is pretty cool. So I truly appreciate your job and what you guys do for the students at JCCC.
Thank you. I'll pass that on to everyone.
So hopefully you tell them to listen as well.
Yes, I will. I told everyone this week, it's like, I'm on the Cavalier Corner, what do you want me to share with everyone? No.
All right. So you have anything else that you'd like to share with the students?
Let's see. I'm just looking through my notes. I always have double screens because it helps me, keep track of everything. I think I've mentioned most the things that I wanted to make sure to tell people.
That is
and
right.
Everything. How's your semester going?
Wow.
It's been a long semester.
It's only March.
It's only March, but
I might need a librarian at this point.
Okay.
Well, the library website has helped me so much because I'm taking a psychology class and it's a fully online course, so we don't have Zoom meetings, but it's not self-paced. So every week we have assignments that we have to turn in and a lot of discussions on Canvas. And one of the requirements is always to cite an article that came directly from the Billington Library website about a topic of the chapter that we're reading that week.
Okay.
So the website has been my saving grace.
Okay. Well, if you need any help, I used to be a psychology librarian and my bachelor's is in psychology. So I've been meeting with so many psychology students over the last year. So
I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about psychology anytime. I can do that.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Jessica, for tuning in to us. This has been an amazing chat. Now I know a lot more about the library that I didn't know. Honestly, I'm so grateful for the service that the library offered to us. Juliana, anything?
Yeah, no, I feel like we've been doing this series, right? Interviewing a lot of people from campus and just all the resources that we have and everything. I feel like right now we're doing it because it's so important for people to know what we have available and just the array of resources that we have that sometimes just students are not aware that we have, or they're not talked about in detail. So we wanted to sit down and talk with you because I mean, we all know that the library is there, but sometimes it's just not a priority in our mind of how much we can get from actually going to the website or
Mhm.
going like in person, because you can get a lot of help, like a lot. I admit, like Camille said, like in my first semester, I would spend just hours on the library doing research and everything about, like before I became a student life ambassador, I had a lot of time to do that and just sit down and do homework and just ask constant questions to all the librarians that were passing by. Yeah, and so it was like my lifesaver. So definitely
Especially those quiet areas.
the quiet areas.
Yeah.
And then now we have our own little quiet room. So that's
Yeah,
a
you
big
can you can have that now.
upgrade.
Definitely. So again, thank you
Definitely.
so much, Jessica, for being a part of this.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me and letting me talk about the library today. I mean, we're always, trying to find ways to tell students that we're still here
Yeah.
and we still want to help them. So I appreciate you having me on so I can, talk about that and, remind people that we're still here.
Definitely. We are JCCC Student Life on all our social media pages and Cavalier Corner on all our podcast platforms. And get involved at JCCC is the page where you can find everything, all of the events going on. Definitely. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.